Very simple question. You don't know of any precedent where the President of the United States had an interest?
Okay. I have not looked, sir.
Oh, I am suggesting that actually, because I want to talk about this company. Brother of the leader of the UAE, the brother is known as Sheikh Tahoon, who's also a critical player. What I'm going to try to get at is whether or not if a company like World Liberty Financial has a corrupt origin. Mr. Gould, let's make this point. The president came in and fired the heads of.
Senator, we are engaging very deeply in this space and appreciated your comments about nominal GDP as the benchmark for indexing, and we will be hopefully proposing some changes to the asset thresholds and other areas where we can tailor the way that we approach regulation and apply it.
I now have to offer all the members an extra 6 seconds to make up for my 33. Thank you. Senator Van Hollen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gould, you serve at the pleasure of the president, right? And as Senator Warren mentioned just a few weeks ago, the Trump family crypto company, World Liberty Financial, applied to you, the OCC, for a national trust bank charter. Now, such a charter would help the company expand its digital asset business, right?
Senator, I'm not going to comment on the assistance of the application or how they might use that charter going forward.
All right, let me ask you this. Is there any precedent that you know of where a business, a company in which the President of the United States or members of his family had an interest in was applying to the OCC for approval of any kind of application?
Sir, I have not looked, but I will say that our licensing process, including our chartering process, is designed and administered by superb professionals.
Mr. Gould, it was a very simple question. You don't know of any precedent where the President of the United States had an interest?
Okay. I have not looked, sir.
We've looked, we couldn't find any. That's why I wanted to ask you. And isn't it true that if you were to deny this application, the president could fire you?
Senator, if you're suggesting that the president would do anything inappropriate or illegal, then I reject that.
Oh, I am
assertion.
suggesting that actually, because I want to talk about this company, and I'm not going to ask you about the review process you will go through, but I do want to ask you if you're familiar with some of the facts behind World Liberty Financial, because it has been at the center of one of the most corrupt schemes that we've witnessed during this administration. Here's what we know about World Liberty. 4 days before Donald Trump's inauguration, the brother of the leader of the UAE, the brother is known as Sheikh Tahoon, who's also a critical player within the UAE royal family, made a $500 million investment into World Liberty. Were you aware of that fact?
Senator, again, I have not read all the newspaper allegations, but we process applications in a fair and even-handed manner.
I just want to know. I want to know if you're aware of that fact. I guess the answer is you're not.
Senator, again, I would be happy to explain to you how the licensing process at the OCC works.
What I'm going to try to get at is whether or not if a company like World Liberty Financial has a corrupt origin, whether that factors into your decision making. Let me just ask you this question. Because after that $500 million investment 4 days before the inauguration, the president's son, Eric Trump, went to the UAE. And at that time, one of Sheikh Tahoon's companies made a $2 billion investment into World Liberty Financial, which dramatically boosted the value of the Trump family business. Were you aware of that fact?
Senator, again, like this committee, the OCC is returning to regular order. And so the procedures by which and the diligence we do associated with any application for a charter is laid out and set forth in our 131-page Comptroller's licensing manual.
Mr. Gould, let's make this point. The president came in and fired the heads of or participants in many commissions because he disagreed with them. So we know what the president will do or is likely to do. And I do think it's important that people understand the sort of corrupt origins of this, because what happened was that after Eric Trump went to the UAE and Sheikh Tahoon's company pumped $2 billion more into the Trump family crypto business. President Trump went to the UAE. It was one of his very first overseas stops. And just before he did, he lifted the restrictions the United States has on the transfer of very high-end AI chips technology that had been in place with respect to the UAE. Restrictions that have been put in place because of bipartisan concern that the company that is run by Sheikh Dahoun, G42, would divert that technology to China. I'm not going to ask you again because it sounds like you're not aware of all of this, although it's been very well documented. So my question to you is, as you look at this whole scheme, where it's clear that the President of the United States relaxed restrictions on the transfer of high-end technology to this UAE company right after a different UAE company run by the Sheikh Dahoun invested $2 billion into world financial. Does any of that background play and factor into your decisions that you'll face?
Senator, so the background and factors that we considered are detailed at length in the 131-page Comptroller's licensing manual, which I would suggest that you all read because I know you're concerned about this issue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've always wanted to see how tall Travis was, so this is an opportunity for me to figure that out right now. He is actually taller than I thought he was. Senator Tillis, the floor is yours.
And just a parliamentary inquiry before I start using my time.
Yes, sir.
What's the purpose of the podium?
He has a bad back.
Got it. I'm sure everybody was asking. I just needed to know. Thank you, Travis.
Appreciate the understanding.
I think we should have a stand-up desk down there, to be honest with you. You all have to sit for so long.
I tried to cover it up, but it didn't work.
That'll take away the intrigue from the press. Governor Bowman, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I've got some questions that I may submit for the record. The staff have prepared some good questions, but more of a general question for the regulators here, the ones who are in play. What have we learned and how we have applied those lessons to the Silicon Valley Bank, what I think was an examination failure? In other words, we had to have done an after action. We know that there were multiple matters requiring attention and multiple matters requiring immediate attention. It should have been a dashboard like blaring in the C-suite and at the New York or at the San Francisco Fed. What have we learned from that, and how are we applying things to any of the regulators who want to opine?
Senator, I might start,
if
that's all right. So we've recently launched an external review of the Silicon Valley Bank failures using an independent third party so that we can learn from an external independent review of the activities that were undertaken within our supervisory responsibilities and how we missed the financial vulnerabilities at Silicon Valley Bank that manifested in its failure.
How long ago was that?
The failure was 2023.
Yeah. I wonder why it's taken so long to get to an external review.
I think I'm the only one that was interested in embarking upon one.
Yeah, and why would that be? I mean, it seems like there's so much. We know the bank activities at SVB were very different, but why wouldn't there have been an interest long before 3 years later? I mean, to learn from that, we should be applying the lessons now versus trying to determine them. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Yeah.